Good morning. Thank you for joining the July 31st, 2018 VOLTA call. And keep in mind that we do record these sessions to post later on YouTube on the VOLTA playlist. And so keep that in mind during any discussion, comments, and presentations. And with that, I think we'll get started for the meeting. And I did send out a note that due to a conflict on my side, I do need to shorten the meeting to 30 minutes today. So we'll wrap up at the bottom of the hour, and hopefully that will work for everyone. We do want to go over some new JIRAs, and so we'll go over, we've got a handful of those that came in, and then we have 3 following up from some discussion last week to see if we need to have discussion with this group. I know there's been some activity and discussion on those issues, and we'll just check in on those, and then other Sprint 5 updates as needed. There are some that are in Garrett that are waiting for review. We'll take a look at those. All right, with that, let me go ahead and go over to the list of new issues. Let me just refresh in case anything came in. Okay, so the first item, I know there has been some discussion on this or some review in Garrett, so that is under discussion. This was on encrypted gRPC connections are no longer working for PONSIM. And so there was a concern that Sean had raised about if the proposed patch for this would expose to security concerns, and if this was just a temp workaround. And I believe, Ken, I believe you had made some comments in Garrett with a possible alternate approach here. Is there anything Yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's correct. That's pretty much the current approach is just to remove all the code that was put into to allow for encryption and just make it insecure completely. The approach is just to make it a flag, a configurable flag. So if somebody wants to run insecure, they run insecure. If they want to make it secure, they run secure. That's a suggestion that I had.
Any questions? Jeff, I see you're on the call as well.
Yeah, but then the problem was secure thing didn't work. That's why we made it insecure, right?
Yeah, secure didn't work. Man, chances are there's a bug there that needs to be fixed. So it's better to have a flag. So if somebody wants to run it insecurely, then they can run it insecurely. And once that bug in the secure is fixed, then it can be run securely. There's no point of removing all the code if there's a bug that can be fixed.
Yeah, so I think
Okay.
for me, I thought I was using it kind of as a temporary workaround just until you know, whatever bug that was causing this, you know, just until that gets fixed. But yeah, I think that comment that you made is a valid suggestion, and I can try looking into that to see if I can implement that.
Okay, thanks.
Any other comments? Okay, then the next new item was another defect.
Hey, Julie, is there a bug
Yes.
right now? What's the bug number?
The one we just spoke about, 1121.
1121. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Okay, and then the next one is 1122. Actually, let me go back to 1121 for a second. So do we have a JIRA opened for the underlying, you know, for finding the underlying defect here?
As far as I know, I don't think there is one, but
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I think Jono would know more about this than I do.
Okay, and I believe he's in another meeting with Sean as well. So I think we'll have to follow up after. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. So
This is more of a workaround, I think, rather than the fix.
Yes, 1121, and that's what Jeff was commenting to was he was looking at this more as a workaround, and so that goes along with the question Sean had here. So I think the approach that Ken suggested is a safer approach for the workaround, And then, so Jeff said he'll take a look at that, and we can have more discussion in JIRA and on Garrett as well for the proposed workaround. But then I think we do need to get a JIRA opened for the underlying issue. But it may still be under investigation.
Typically, the flag's set when you create an OLT. So if I would pass a parameter saying runs insecure or secure, or how is that done? Or is that just some hidden flag that the code checks?
I don't think there's a flag in the code at this time, so it needs to be put in.
943.
But why do we need flag to run insecure? Why would somebody run in an insecure mode when it is working in a secure mode?
At times it's easier to run it insecure, I guess. If we can make it work securely, or why not? If we can fix that bugs, sure.
Yeah. Then we don't need insecure flag, right?
Well, it depends how people want to run it. If it's always easy to run it securely, yes, sure, let's do that. But if for some reason people are having issues running in secure environment, and without assume the bug is fixed, then maybe insecure environment will be good. But for now, if we can just fix the bug, sure, let's go ahead and do that.
So is the concern having this flag persist after the defect is found and resolved? Is that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess, is there a use case where you'd want to run insecure, I guess?
Yeah, that's what I thought, that once the defect is found and fixed for secure, then there is no need of this flag.
And my account.
So far, I've not seen a use case for that, but if there is one, then we need a flag. If there's none, then that bug needs to be fixed.
Right.
I would think the use case is if anytime insecure mode's not working, you need to get something done, or anytime secure mode's not working, you need to get something done, you can file a bug and then go to insecure mode. It's kind of like a backup. I mean, it's not a critical production use case, but it's not.
I agree with David.
Available.
Well, we could end up with a lot of flags.
Yeah.
I agree with David. Anytime you want to be able to troubleshoot, particularly in the development stage, I mean, you got to be able to eliminate security sometimes. So it's not really a use case other than for testing. It's not a real world use case, but it's a backup.
Other comments? So I think we're going to need some more discussion here. I hear there a number of folks indicating that for test environment and development that this would be a useful function to have with the flag. Not expected to use it for any use case in production. So mainly be a test and development environment. But then it would require work like Sean Missette said on the provisioning side in order to set this flag.
Well, Jeff fix already is handled the insecure cases. So there's no point of taking away that fix. It's just adding the flag to have that fix and then fix the secure mode. Otherwise, it's just throwing away code.
Right. I think the concern from some was on the flags themselves and whether we needed to pursue this. And I didn't get a count on how many are on each side. So I think using a flag in order to trigger the patch that Jeff has here is the option that's being looked at. And then there was again the discussion on the use cases. So are we okay moving forward with this for it to be used primarily in a test and development environment for the use of this flag? So Sean, Sean, or let's see, Dinesh, you had concerns also.
No, I thought that we wanted to run it in a secure mode. Then why do we need option to run in insecure mode?
And then mainly for troubleshooting in a test and development environment, I think was the use case.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff patch would help someone who is stuck right now.
Right.
To make some progress using this patch. And looking at the code, what he's changing is the gRPC APIs.
And Sean, did you have any other comments on this one?
I think we can move on.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
We're good.
All right. Then the next item, 1122. This one, and I don't believe we have Shad on the call. So this is a new defect that was opened on OpenOLT. Rebooting one ONU affects the operational status of other ONUs. That are connected to that OL. Okay, so this one, Shad did assign it to himself, but I don't believe we have anything for review yet at this point. So just a new defect to watch. And then the next item is 1123. This one is add serial number to PONSIM ONU. And I'm not sure if we have Andy. I don't think we have Andy on the call. So this one, it was under development, and so I did move this to in progress. And there is a patch, and I think Ken, you may have commented on this one as well, if I remember correctly. Yes. So this we do have in Garrett for review, and there are some comments coming in. So Ken, I don't know if you wanted to make any discussion before we move on.
No, this one is more like the way the serial numbers used. It's not really serial number. It's the name PONSIM that is hard coded in the code. My suggestion was instead of having it in the adapter, to put that in the actual PONSIM v2 code to make it configurable. So if somebody wants to test PONSIM with a different kind of serial number, they can do that instead of just having PONSIM as a serial number.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, it'd be also good to follow the standard format as well. So there's an OUI indicating the vendor, and then just an incremental number depending on the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was the next new one. We have 1124 is another defect that was raised. And this one is again on OpenOLT. This is the ONU remains admin down after it's disabled and it looks like re-enabled. And it looks like that's done from CLI. And then the ONU remains admin down after the re-enable. And so a new issue, it has been assigned. And we do have, oh, it looks like this was merged. So I don't think we have Jonathan on the call. So we'll follow up to see if there's additional work here or if this one is complete. Okay. And then the last new item was a user story on OpenOLT, and this is for ONU alarms, LOB and LOPC. And this one is, I think there's a patch for this up for review as well. I believe there has been some discussion, so we'll be tracking that one. Okay, so that's undergoing active discussion at this time. And those are the new issues that we had come in. So with that, I think we'll move over to, let me refresh the status here, and take a look at a few of the ones we wanted to follow up on from previous discussions. So 542, so is there a comment or question? Okay, 542, 778, and 1044. And I'll see if we've got the right representation on and see if we can discuss those. If I can find 542. So this one, 542 is the first one, and Amit, I think you're on here, and also David, I know you two have been discussing a path forward for this. Gamza, I believe, are you still blocked by this item? I think you are. Okay, so
Yes, I am.
okay, that's what I thought. So, David and Amit, do you think we need to have a group discussion on this one or a breakout session? What are your thoughts at this time?
I think my thoughts really haven't changed. I don't really think we need a group discussion at this point. Things are progressing on the discussion
Okay.
of the JIRA.
All right.
You can see the comments right there.
Yep. I missed thoughts on whether we needed a separate meeting or anything. So
Yeah.
if it's going fine on JIRA, I'll just leave that go.
Sorry that it's still blocking, but.
And then we'll see if we can get some movement.
Actually, yes, actually, if you see the last comment that I made, that I need to do a little bit of exploration on that and see if we can find some alternate solutions, which also takes care of the points that David has raised. So I do agree with the points that David has raised, and it's just a question of how do we get it done, right? So
okay,
I'll update it as soon as I have something.
Thank you very much. Then let me go on to the next item was 778. If I can find the right tab here. Back. And I think 778 had some discussion, and then we had revision to that go in, if I remember correctly. Okay, so Venkata has updated the patch for this, and based on the comments he received in Garrett, and then here's a sample of what the output would look like for the related error messages this time. So I believe that is still under review in, I think it's this one, in Garrett.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And so if we could have folks take a look at that. Ken, it looks like you're the only one assigned as a reviewer. We may need to get some others added on there. I'm not sure. Okay, but that update is in there, and then in JIRA, there's an example of what the output would look like for this case now. So hopefully we'll get that one resolved this week. And then the next item to follow up on was 1044. Let me go to it this way. Okay, and I don't believe we've got Nick on, and Jono had some discussion here. I don't think we have the right folks on for any detailed discussion on this one with the group. So what I'll ask is for other folks who are interested in this item to go ahead and look at the comments and the discussion in Garrett. And then we have another patch that was submitted within the last week as well. And so you can look at the changes, but I think that one still needs some discussion amongst the folks that are involved in the Garrett review before this moves forward. But without Nick on here or Jono, I think probably we just have people look at that one offline. Any comments before I move on? Okay, then let's go look at sprint, whoops, wrong tab, sprint status and where we're on a few of the issues. And I don't believe we have anything up for review at this point for the API work or the core work at this point. Is that right, Ken?
In terms of the API work per se, this is more the document that I sent out, and I needed I need to get comments from people. So far I've not on the first instance of the document that I sent out, I got some comments, and then I updated, I sent it out. I've not received any comments. I just want to know, like, what's the best approach to get more comments? Otherwise, we'll just implement it as is.
Okay, and I had it open here earlier, but I think I closed it up. So, yeah, I don't know where I had it open on my screen before, but not anymore. Sorry about that, Ken. So let's go back. I'll send a note and bring that thread back up to the top of the chain for discussion. So I'll do that after the call today, and see if it triggers some comments on the API document.
Can we maybe schedule a review of the API document in one of the TSD meetings, and then we can, people have something on the schedule, and they can work towards reviewing by that date, I guess.
Would
Sure.
reviewing it Thursday work? We don't have any demos lined up.
I'm okay to show the document on Thursday, but I don't know if people will have enough time to review the document. Or we can do it next week. It doesn't matter for me.
That might be better, yeah.
And do you want to review it? Ken, how much time do you think we need for that discussion?
It all depends on how many questions I get. All my reviews I always take 30 minutes, so it's always more than 1 hour. So it's
Okay, so let's schedule it for next Thursday, not next Tuesday then. How's that sound? Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. I was trying to figure out if we had time to cover it Tuesday, but I think it's safer to do it Thursday. So we'll add that to Thursday's discussion. So thank you for bringing that up, Ken.
No problem.
Oh, here's the document. I did have it open. It was just the PDF version. So this is the updated document that Ken had sent out, but I'll send something to bring that thread back up to visibility for folks for comment in VOLTHA Discuss. Okay. And then 778 we just reviewed. So 748, I believe this one had, whoops. Oh no, this one is, I thought there was a patch for this one, but this one is still pending. So Venkata, are we thinking this one will make, okay.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Yeah.
Great. Then I think 750 may be the one where there was a patch, yes. So 750, there is some code out there for review as well. So if people could take a look at that for the review, and then hopefully we can have this item resolved shortly as well. So thank you for getting that code in. And then I think for the review, I don't believe we had any new code here, and we don't have the Foundry folks on today. Andy, I believe I saw you on the bridge and heard you earlier, and I think we still don't have that rebase in for 506. So if you could follow up on that, that would be appreciated. Let me see if he's still on. Oh, I think we lost Andy. Okay, I'll follow up with him offline. Looks like we dropped. Okay, 542 we discussed. 733. This is this is nothing open for review at this point. And Karai, do you have anything that you need to discuss with the group on 733?
No, actually, there is not
okay.
item that I would like to point out. It's still in progress.
Okay, I couldn't hear you very well with the audio, but I'm hoping that was nothing we need to discuss right now.
Still in progress.
Yeah, there's not.
Okay.
Yes, still in progress.
Thank you. And then we don't have new code yet for 1043. Nick's Adams will skip that one. Gamsa's work is being blocked currently by the other issue we addressed earlier. 1071 is this one. We need to see if this is actually resolved at this point, because there was the second portion that went in for the Celestica installation page. And I believe that one, it has the +2. So I think this was just waiting perhaps on getting merged in. So this one we're getting closer to resolution. And lost my place. Right, that 1044, we were going to have folks review the Garrett discussion offline. And then I think we've got the in-progress work from Richard on the twist pipe on shim layer. And Chip is not on for discussion today either, so we will I think we will skip over the OpenOMCI issues unless anyone has comments that we need to take back or questions we need to take back to Chip. If there's anything, please bring that up. So next, let's take a look at 1076. I think we're closer to getting this one. Oh, it did get merged in. I think we're done now. Yes, it just got merged. Great. So Lynn, I think we have the CIG at VOLTHA adapter is merged in now. So can we move this item to done?
Sure. Please.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. And thanks to the folks at ONF for getting the CIG folks into the system with the proper permission. So let me move this to done.
So what's the plan for technology profile integration with that adapter? Is that something I need to write a story for?
Yeah, how are we handling that? Do we right now? You just have the stories related to OpenOLT.
Yeah. So Vol 737 is the OpenOLT adapter story. I just had that reassigned from Shad, who wants me to decompose that a little bit more and potentially make it its own epic. And there's also the Edge Core adapter story as well. But we may want to deprecate that one because if we're just going everything on the OpenOLT adapter side, then we probably don't need that one. But any new adapters that get created, we potentially want to support technology profiles with, we need to write a new story for, I guess.
Yeah, and so I think we would need one for that as well for the CIG OLT. Good point, Sean. Okay.
Unless they go, transfer everything over to the OpenOLT side of things, or depends what how that needs to evolve, I guess.
Yeah.
Can we make a note to discuss that maybe next meeting when there's more attendance, I guess.
Okay. Okay, we can do that. So we can talk about that hopefully on Thursday. I think we should have some discussion time. Okay, I've got about 1 minute left, and then I'll need to switch over to my other meeting. So apologies again to everyone for the truncated time today. Scroll back down here. So I think, moving past the OpenOMCI items, next one was an OpenOLT, and this one, nothing yet in Garrett, so that one's still in progress. And then we do have, I think, some active work on BBSIM. Keita-san, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to comment on today for the BBSIM work.
To be honest, I'm now discussing about how we implement the BBSIM with Solabo and Shadow. So I will update this description later. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. And I think that takes us through the in-progress items. I don't have time to jump over to the to-dos. So we do have a number that still need to be picked up. I believe not everything is assigned at this point. We've got about a week and a half, a little bit more left for the sprint. And with that, I think I'm out of time for myself for today. Any other comments or questions from the group for discussion today? Okay, then I will go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you, everyone.